The bugs are out here. You say it how you want to say it. It's like a little secret garden. We love that for me. Just being honest with y'all. Hello, welcome to Yellow Door Urban Homestead. I am Asia and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space out in my backyard. And today we are finally doing a garden tour. We're doing a garden tour because the full fall garden is planted. Aside from my spinach, because I'm going to plant that later, and the rest of my garlic. I've already planted some garlic. I'm going to plant some garlic this month, and then I'm going to plant some garlic in November. So I'm going to have 3 different times I planted garlic. I am not the best at growing garlic, so I'm trying new things. But if you are new here, I am in Virginia, Zone 7B, and I grow in my urban backyard. I grow in ground, in raised beds, no dig, in bags, and in green stalks. Oh, by the way, I got my 2 new green stalks and I am loving them. So we are going to look at that. But y'all, I'm so excited. The garden is planted out. Also, let me tell y'all, because we might have a limited amount of videos this week. I completely forgot that my family was coming in town. My mother has 6 brothers and sisters, so my grandmother has 7 children, and everyone will be in town this weekend and through next week. And so yesterday I had to pick up my uncle from the airport, and then we went and got something to eat, and then I just kind of hung out with my family yesterday, which is why I said I need to push this. So we're here today, but I'm also letting y'all know that we might have a limited amount of videos this coming week because I'm gonna hang out with my family. I know one of my uncles want to go fishing, so I'm probably gonna go fishing again this week. Super excited about that. And I can hang out with my uncles. And so, yeah, but we're gonna go ahead and get into this garden tour. I got up this morning around 7 something to get the new green stalks put up and planted out. So the tables for the seedlings are down. Super excited. I am gonna tell you that I'm thinking I'm not gonna take my citrus in the house this year. I'm gonna put them in the newer greenhouse. It's from Silveria. A few people have asked where it's from. It's from Silveria. So I put the smaller table in this greenhouse. I'm gonna set the bugs are out here. Anyway, I'm gonna set them on the table, try to maybe get burlap and some frost cloth. But anyway, we'll talk about that and we're gonna see what I'm gonna do with that. But let's get into this garden tour, y'all. I'm so excited. I know I keep saying let's get into this garden tour and then I talk again, but I cannot tell y'all just how excited I am and the fact that I have so much space. I have so much broccoli planted and I think I'm gonna hit my goals. My aunt asked me about collards, so I planted enough collards this year for everybody to get a piece of the pie. So, all right, y'all, let's for real get into this garden tour. So we're gonna start on this side today just because the sun is still out a little bit. As I work through this side, then the sun should be done on the main garden and then we'll go into the main garden too. So let's start here. So we're gonna first start with the herb green stalk that's right beside my door. There isn't anything in here other than herbs at this point. Also, I cleaned up a little bit today too. Like, I got a lot of stuff up. Anyway, so y'all, look at this yarrow. Somebody tell me what to do with the yarrow. I think yarrow is just pretty, but I've never actually used it. And I know that it's good medicinally. And if you remember, we moved these from bags inside of the garden and they are doing really well. There was some that, like, I think there was maybe 1 or 2 plants that were already in here, but they're doing really well. And so I want to know what I'm supposed to do with that. And then this is the parsley, but we did a big cut on this, if y'all remember. Also, this is the leaf green stalk, so the 7 tier. And I was never really interested in these. And then one day I was like, well, maybe I should try one of those. And they do really good for sure for herbs. It's the only thing I can attest to because I have never used the 7 tier, but they're doing really good with herbs. And my goodness, y'all, leeks do amazing in here. I can't tell y'all how many times I've cut off these leeks and they just grow back. And they look really good. And so this is the herb green stalk. We do have some pockets still open, and I'm thinking I'm probably going to wait until the spring. I did have like 3 rosemaries that made it, so we're probably gonna wait until the spring to fill this up with more herbs. I want it to be perennial herbs. I want them to stay. So we have marjoram. Marjoram is not perennial, so that's going to end up, not for me anyway, it's gonna end up dying. We got sage and I cut it back pretty heavily. This is another type of sage. So this green stalk is doing real nice. I like it. I like it a lot. There's cilantro in there too. And cilantro is not perennial here either. I just started throwing stuff in there because I had a whole bunch of pockets open, but I do plan on making it just perennial herbs for cooking. And that's also why I have it by my back door, so I could just come out of the door if I need herbs, especially when it's cold, and just cut them off. Across from that space, you can see the table is gone. We had some of the starts on the table over here. That's gone. I do not plan on starting a lot more, except for, like I said, my spinach. I'm gonna start that, although I could probably direct sow it, but y'all know I'm not that good at that. But right here is our blackberry green stalk, our newest one, and it is the basket weave one, and it has onions in it. I think they're onions. Remember, I did not actually label correctly, so it's either onion, shallots, or leeks, but it's fully planted. Everything seems to be getting established. The ones at the top really had transplant shock, but the middle stems, or not stems, leaves are standing up, and so I feel good about that. So that one is looking good. And then the other blackberry, which is just the original, it doesn't have basket weave on it. This is where pretty much all my leafy greens are. So like the kale is looking really good. We're starting to get some size on these. We planted these out maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. I'm not sure. But this is dinosaur kale. That's looking real good. Now, I will say the lettuce isn't looking amazing, but I don't think it has anything to do with the green stalk. This lettuce was not taken care of well. It was not taken care of well in the pots, but I decided I would still just plant it out. But this green stalk is looking good. Also, oh, by the way, the celery looks really good. I think like maybe 3 of them survive, but they look good. This will be my first year growing celery, and I'm very excited. So that looks good as well. The blueberry, we still have tomato plants in here. Now, what I will say is I'm not seeing any tomatoes popping up on here. We are 1 month away from our first predicted frost, and so I'm probably gonna pull these out at some point this week coming up, because they're actually not, even if they put out a tomato, it's gonna be small and it's definitely not gonna ripen. These are purple rain tomatoes. They've actually been in all year too. This is the tomato plant that had broke, and I thought I could save it. It looks awful, and a lot of times you'll come out here and it'll be saggy, so definitely gonna go ahead and pull those out as well and get them planted up. So maybe I will direct sow some spinach started from seed just to be safe. But also our strawberries are looking good in here too. I did fertilize these with just a balanced fertilizer a few days ago, just to, you know, keep them moving. Although they're gonna go dormant, but right now they're looking a little light green, so I figured I would just go ahead and fertilize them, which is fine. These are the strawberries that we pulled out of the main garden when we got rid of the strawberry patch in the main garden. So they just were planted here, and I did take runners, so these are first year plants, so that's a plus. Next year they'll come back. They are perennial in my area. And then down at the bottom, so this right here is an inventor's bundle. You have some leaf planters at the top, and then at the bottom you have the original size planters. I think the leaf planters are 7 inches, and I think the original planters are 10 inches. But down here we have some onions. The onions also were not well taken care of, but there's onions in the original tier, and then there's strawberries in the leaf tier. Oh, y'all, looky here. We got one that started ripening. It's a purple rain as well, so we will get to taste at least one of them. I'm going to leave these long enough for these tomatoes that's on it to ripen, and then I'm going to pull them out. At this point, like I said, we are at the point where even if the new ones are coming in, we're definitely not going to get them ripened out here, I don't believe. And they're probably not going to get big enough, but we do have 2 more right here as well. So we're gonna let them ripen, and then we're gonna pull the tomatoes out. Now, if you remember last week, we planted some really bad starts that I hadn't taken care of. None of them are dying, so that is a plus, and I'm happy about that. But we don't have a lot of growth, so if you watched me plant them last week, then they pretty much look the same as they did. And so a lot of this is either broccoli, kale, or collards, and we're just seeing what's gonna happen. but it's not looking bad. I have had to come over here and get some caterpillars, and that's okay because at this point, that's all I do anyway, is come outside, hang out in my garden, and, you know, make sure things are good to go. I do think these plants are going to bounce back. I said that when I was planting them, that I have seen it, I believe it, and I think they're gonna bounce back just fine. It's just gonna take some time. I also fertilized these with fish emulsion over the weekend. I think I did it yesterday. Oh, because I fertilized the whole garden yesterday. I think it took me like 2.5 hours, which is okay. I was gonna be out here anyway. But yeah, I fertilized the main garden, I fertilized the green stalks, I fertilized the greenhouse. So yeah, everything got fertilized yesterday. So then we have our lemon green stalk, which has strawberries in it. These are native strawberries to my area. I got them from a farmer's market one day when I went, and so I only bought one, and this is that one right here. I know which one was the mother of all mother plants right here because I put the stick in it from when I purchased it. So this one plant made all the rest of these. I just took runners and pushed them down into the soil. They rooted. And so, yeah, that's what we did. And this is the inventor's bundle, like the blueberry one. At the bottom of this, you have onions. I'm pretty sure these are all onions. So that is completely planted out as well. Then we have our green stalk back here, and the pepper plants are looking bad. We are in like the 50s at night, and the peppers just don't seem to be enjoying it. But there are 2 peppers on here, so I'm letting them ripen. Pretty sure these are pimento peppers. Letting them ripen. Once they ripen, we're gonna pull those out too, and we're gonna replace it with spinach. And then you have, I'm pretty sure that's kohlrabi. You got some broccoli in here. This is a very mix-match one. Mix-match one. Sorry, y'all. This is a kohlrabi too. Looks really awful. It looks really, really awful, but we're gonna leave it. See what happens. There's also onions in this green stalk. There's a celery right here as well. I think that is probably some kind of kale. Then you have another pepper plant with peppers on it. Nice sized peppers on it too. So the green stalk also planted out. So if you remember, I was saying if these things work in here, we're using these as the fall garden next year, and we're gonna let the main garden rest. Pretty excited to see how this goes. Very excited. That's not all the green stalks, but I wanna show you what I did over here in this greenhouse. So these tables were the same length. So I put the black one from outside in here. There was already the gray one in here. My plan is to put my citrus on these tables, and then I'm just gonna cover them really well. Also, we gotta do, now if y'all remember, I had a very hard time putting this greenhouse in. Everything, well, putting it up, I'm sorry. Everything, all of the panels are fine except for this one. I'm gonna get some black waterproof tape and I'm gonna tape it to this because I need it, but I'll do it eventually. So that's where I think I'm gonna put the citrus. I'm not gonna take it in the house. I'm gonna tell you why. I was watching a live with Broke Farmer, and he said something about the lizards being in the soil. I said, yeah, we're not taking that in the house. We're not taking that in the house, not even down in the laundry room. We're not gonna do it. So that's my plan. So they'll go on the table, they can go under the tables. I only have 6, so I'm sure I can make them work. Also still need to find pots for them. You know what? That's gonna be on my list of things to do this week. Find pots and get them repotted. Should I do that before or after? Should I do that in the spring, y'all think? Because they're in bags right now. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Should I wait and put them in pots in spring, or should I do it before they go into the greenhouse? Let me know. So the next space we have are, in fact, our citrus trees. Do y'all remember how small these citrus trees were when we put them into these bags? Do y'all? They have grown tremendously. So we have like blood orange, we have columbine, we have kumquat, we have a variegated lemon back here, we have a Myers lemon over there, we have lime trees. So like this is 4 of them, but they just look amazing, y'all. And we're still getting new growth. Like the light green is new growth. I am just elated. I am excited. I really am. And then we didn't get any citrus this year, but this was their first year. But I do think they got very well established. We do have some leaf curl. And I don't know if that's just from the heat. I think that it might be from the heat. I'm not sure. We did get more flowers over here, but everything's dropping. This one doesn't seem to be dropping when I touch it, but hey, maybe we will get some limes. I don't know. But I'm very excited that this is looking good. By the way, I moved the eucalyptus over here. So this is the eucalyptus, that I closed in the door. Oh God, that's not a good look. I have to watch that. I also think I'm gonna cut these down. Like the long ones, I'm gonna cut them down because we got a lot of new growth in the middle now. So I'm excited. I think I'm gonna cut the longer ones down and let them just start to grow from the middle. They are in a Vigo self-watering pot. And one of the things that I rarely talk about is this moringa that I am not doing anything to. I'm not doing anything to it. And I should have cut it and, like halved it so that it could get bushier. It's a little late in the season for that now. They are not perennial in my area. I may try it again in this greenhouse this year. I tried it in the other greenhouse last year. It did not work. So I might try it, but this is a moringa that we rarely talked about this season, but it pretty much grew itself. It was over here by the green stalks and by that greenhouse, and I never really thought about it. It pretty much, honest truth, y'all, it grew itself. So where did the new green stalks go? They went right over here to match the area over here, but also to grow food. The top is not planted out. This is where I'm gonna plant my October garlic at. And so I haven't planted it yet. I was so tired this morning after I got these up. But down here, I want to say the peppercorn is leeks. I went back to try to figure out what I did. And what I did was I planted them in clusters in the larger Bootstrap Farmer trays, the 5-inch pots, I think. And then everything behind the tab, but like in the row with the tab and behind the tab was that vegetable. So I'm pretty sure the peppercorn has leeks in it, and I just planted this out this morning, so everything doesn't look amazing and everything was small and wasn't taken care of. So but the peppercorn is leeks. Oh, and there's one flat of Italy because that's the only thing that was left to get me to fill all of these levels up, and leaving this one for garlic. And then over here in the black one, which, oh my God, it's so nice. And I know it's just black, but black is like my favorite color to wear. And so that being my second favorite color. So this is shallots. This has all shallots in it. I absolutely love shallots. I use onions for flavor, but I don't like the taste and the texture of onions. So when I am making something where I'm probably gonna have to eat the onion, I use shallots in place of that. And so I really hope those shallots do well. I'm very happy that I had this extra space because my shallots and my onions last year, they got allium leaf miner. So I'm hoping by having them, this is not level. And I didn't feel like it. I did not go and get the pavers. We'll do it next year. I'm just using things to kind of like prop it up to make it level, pieces of sticks and stuff. But I need to fix that one because it's absolutely not level. What I was saying is I got allium leaf miner. So I'm hoping by having them in the containers, the green stalks, that I won't get allium leaf miner. I've never had a lot of success in the garden area with onions, or leeks, honestly, or garlic for that matter. So I'm hopeful that that is going to help me, but I'm excited, y'all. Look at those pretty little green stalks. I think they're so pretty. Y'all, and they match my little area over here. If you are new here, I raise quail for meat and for eggs. And so this is where they reside. This is also why I wanted the gray green stock on this side, because it matches my quail coops. Pretty much match my quail coops. But they're all in here. I don't really open them online, although I have to do like a deep cleaning. Plan to take y'all with me on that so y'all be able to see them. I'll take them out. But this is where I raise my quail at, the outdoor quail. This is where they stay, and then I use their eggs to keep this going. And I hatch my own eggs and raise my own quail, and I also cull them. When I say cull, process, that's what I mean. Everybody's not into that. I don't talk about it a lot. I do videos every now and then. But yes, on my urban homestead, I also raise quail, so I do have a meat source here. Next spot over here, our greenhouse. And we just recently had to replant because I went on vacation and the caterpillars had a ball. And so we are bouncing back. I came through here this morning though and got everything out of here too as it relates to caterpillars, because there were a lot. But I do that every day anyway, like once a day. I did not do it yesterday because I was so busy. But anyway, we have Kohlrabi in here and we have Collards in here. This bed does not look amazing. It doesn't look amazing, but we still have time. And because it's in the greenhouse, it'll be a bit warmer in here than outside, so they'll have a little more time. So over here we have two different varieties of broccoli. So that's one variety right there. You say it how you want to say it. And then this one right here is a Godzilla hybrid. This whole bed was full of Godzilla hybrid. The caterpillars literally took it out. And so I just replaced it with what we had left. And so those are the two varieties that's growing in this bed. Over here, we still have the roselle that's growing. And so we do actually have calyxes starting to form in here now. So I'm excited. My problem is because it's touching the greenhouse, I think if we get a frost, it's definitely gonna burn the top. I probably could cut it, but the calyxes are growing at the top. So I'm not going to do anything to it. What I do know is that the calyxes will form over here in this greenhouse, and next year I'll put them in a lower bed, which I talk about every time, but I want to explain it for anybody if they are new, why they are here, why they're growing to the top. Reason why they're in this bed is because this is the only space I had available when I moved them out of the garden where they were shaded. So here you have some kale down here, very shaded, but also I just planted this the other day when we came in to just try to save this space. And then you have a kale back here as well. I pulled off all of the leaves that, well, stems that had been stripped by the caterpillars. And so now we're just waiting. And like I always say, they're being shaded by the roselle at this point. But I honestly don't think that's going to be a big deal because like I said, in the greenhouse, it's going to be warmer even when we get our first frost. And so I think they'll have time to bounce back. And over here, we also have parsley. I always forget to harvest it because I don't have a lot that's being harvested out of the greenhouse, but I'll make sure I come back and get it. So we have another bed over here that we just put some Brussels sprouts in. I don't know if we're gonna have any success with that. Brussels sprouts definitely have a long growing season, and I probably needed to have them out in here in August, but I had other things in here, but they got eaten up. This was a replacement, blah 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 blah. This is a cabbage right here. That's a cabbage. Wasn't well taken care of. It looked like this when we planted it. So this is not caterpillar since it's been planted. It was caterpillar before. The tomato plants are still forever holding on in here. These are patio variety of tomato plants, but the same thing like with the green stalks. As they ripen, we're gonna go ahead and pull it. We still have flowers growing, and with it being in the greenhouse, it probably could last even longer. But I think we're gonna go ahead and let summer go, y'all. Back here we have another Brussels sprout. Pretty sure that's a Brussels sprout, all newly planted. And that's another Brussels sprout. You have a cabbage here. Pretty sure that's another Brussels sprout, maybe. Actually, these are the ones that were labeled as Brussels sprouts, but I don't think that they are. So we'll see what that is. We have another cabbage. This is a Katarina, but it's just stunted. It's one that survived, but it's not growing. So we'll leave it, see what happens. Also, we have tomatoes ripening in here still. So we'll get those once they ripen. And then there's more back here. They're just kind of hanging over the side, but you can see them right there. But that's the greenhouse. Oh, strawberries. Some of them still living, some of them not. I'm not taking care of them. It's okay. But that's the update. Oh no, completely forgot to do my peas. I'm gonna do my peas tomorrow. Just make sure I get them planted, because remember I kept saying I want to put peas on these trellises that I made. Yeah, I forgot to do it. So, oh, another thing before we leave the greenhouse, this is where I put the other seedling table. So they'll go up in the summer and like into the fall when I need them, but I don't want them out all the time. I already have limited space, and that makes it feel even more limited when I have the tables up. So that gives us more space now. And so if you remember, that's where the table was, cleared everything from under it. It's in the greenhouse over here, or it's trash down here. But now we got more space right here. And I know people worry about Puppy. She doesn't mind, but she has even more space now. So yeah, let me tell you about the chickens. I do also raise chickens here on my urban homestead. This is their space. I recently extended their run area because I had a shed taken out. So they have a lot of space. There's only 5 of them right now. I can only have 6 anyway. But yeah, this is their little space, and their coop is all the way to the back. It is covered either with netting or with a tarp. Don't know if you can see that from over here. You probably can't. But anyway, that is my chicken area, and I do raise them for eggs only. All right, y'all. I've had time to think about the orchard area, and I know what I'm going to do. As of right now, the roses are going to go. Unless when I'm doing this, I can figure out something else with the roses. What my plan is this apple tree, this peach tree, I'm going to leave where it is. But the peach tree on that side and the apple tree on that side, I'm going to prune them down, cut them down. Then I'm going to dig them up. And see where the gate stops right here? I'm going to take this gate all the way down right until it lines up with this side of the chicken area. And then that peach tree and apple tree is also going to come on this side. If you remember, we have a fig in a bag that I thought was dead, but it's actually not dead. It just wasn't being watered because I wasn't watering it and we didn't have no rain. Once it rained, it started to put out leaves again. So it's actually not dead, y'all. And I may put the fig there. And so that's gonna open up this whole space for me to walk. And then we won't have all of these extra branches. So I should be able to get down this space much easier after that. And then I also have to move the comfrey over here because it gets shaded really badly by the grapevine. So that's my plan. That is my plan. Now, when is that gonna get done? I have no idea. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I have gotten tired. Pretty sure I'm gonna take about a 2-week break from like doing a big thing of work, like doing a whole bunch of stuff. I don't have a lot to do anything anyway, other than getting this orchard area redone so that I can actually move around in it. So we'll see how it goes, and I may even come up with something different. I might even, honest truth, I might even move this side out just a little bit so that it's not so close to the grapevine. If I had cut my grapevine like I was supposed to, I don't think we would be having such a problem, but now I don't want to because it's beautiful and I just want to keep it that way. So our lavender is looking much better. It's literally starting to fill out. I'm excited. I have been coming through and pulling the cosmos. Also been adding soil out of the planting containers, the seedling containers. I just been throwing it in here too. Oh, y'all remember that nasturtium we left? It's growing, so I'll take that. But yeah, the lavender is looking good. All right, y'all. Oh, this is a greenhouse. If you're new here, it's being used for storage. All right, so into the main garden we go. My yellow door got fixed this year. How amazing is that? It's a gate, but it was really nice. I got it from Lowe's. I saw it over on Jess and Maya's channel. What is that? Roots and Refuge. And it was very simple. I put this down into the ground. This slid over top of it. I painted the front of it yellow, but not the back because it's just not how I roll. But I really like it. Anyway, when you come into my garden, you have some cattle panel trellises. This is the grapevine I was just talking about. It was never supposed to be on this trellis, but it was beautiful when it happened, and I love it. We have harvested all the grapes. There are no more grapes. They have either been juiced and put in the freezer, or they are like a whole grape in the freezer, and I will deal with it later. But when you walk in, you come in and you're under the grape trellis. It's like a little secret garden. We love that for me. Oh my God, y'all. I don't know what's going on here. I feel like when it rained, it was just a lot of rain, and my potatoes did not fare well. I'm still leaving them until they die, and then we'll see what we got out of them. By the way, this is going to be another garlic tower. It dawned on me. I was like, I can use the yellow tower once I harvest the potatoes out of it, and we could put garlic in it. So that's what this tower is going to be. It will not be dormant for fall. Once I harvest these, I'm gonna amend the soil and then we're gonna plant garlic. This will be where my November garlic goes. Also over in the other bed, but we'll get over there soon. Also, we got to take a break. I came out here in a short sleeve shirt and actual shorts. I have shorts on. I'm going to put on some tights and a long sleeve shirt. I'll be right back because the mosquitoes are chewing me up. All right, we're back. We're back with a long sleeve shirt and we're back with tights on because I just can't. Anyway, so that's going to be the garlic green stock. I did pick up some garlic when I went to my local feed and seed store today. So I have everything that I need. So I feel very prepared. I feel very much like I have finished this now. I am pretty much finished. I'm always going to want to putter around out here and find something else to do. But the big part of this is done and I'm excited. So we're going to basically just go across, like if you were to walk into my garden, what you would see. So I'll start over here. I did go ahead and cut down the asparagus. It was taking me out. I was so annoyed by it. So I cut it down. I just left the ferns on the top. That some people say not to do that because if there was any like pests that there still be living in the ferns. I've never had a problem. This is what I do. I'm going to let this all break down over the winter and then I'm going to put compost on the top of this come spring. So that's my little asparagus patch. I want a larger asparagus patch. Don't have an idea where I would put it though. And I said before that if I took this greenhouse down, I could extend this patch, but I kind of need that for storage. So we probably won't be doing that. Over here, we have another green stalk. We still have eggplant growing, so I'm leaving those. Probably gonna let them go to the first frost. This is where I had success with my eggplant this year. I moved some out of the garden beds and put them here, and they started to grow well. So we're still getting eggplants from over here. This green stalk is planted out with leafy greens and some broccoli. Some of them are surviving. Some of them don't look as great. But none of these seedlings look great. There's also lettuce in here. This one looks really good, but we're gonna start more lettuce. Anyway, we got more stuff in here. Some of it just doesn't look good, and that's okay. That is okay. That's the lilac green stalk. I just showed you the asparagus and the green stalk, and so right beside this on the other side, you have a bed of broccoli. Some of this broccoli is being shaded, and so like this one, this is like signs of not enough sun. How tall and skinny it is, but I'm still leaving it because it could still give me broccoli. As you go down, you can see the broccoli plants get much better. This is green Goliath. I'm sorry I hit the mic. I walked through a spider web. Anyway, this is green magic. I think I just said Goliath, but this is green magic broccoli right here. It's looking really good. This is the bed that if you've been here for a while, we put meal grinds in, and every time I say meal grinds, someone asks me what are meal grinds and where can you get them from. Meal is a food dehydrator that I have in the house. I'll put a picture up here. You can put all kinds of things in it, dairy, meat. It's gonna break it down for you. Then you can use it in your garden. You can feed it to your chickens. I am affiliated with them, and there will be a link down in the description if you're interested. But this is the bed that we put the meal grinds in. They were still kind of warm because they hadn't broken down. I was very nervous. For me, there was nothing to be nervous about. These plants look great. We do have some holes in them. I've been finding snails and slugs, but I have straw down, and so that is to be expected because it's a moist area where they can live. But the plants look fine, and we did not have anything die. Everything is doing well. Now, the broccoli in the back is getting shaded some. I would imagine that once the grapevine kind of dies out, that they'll start to look a little bit better. But yeah, that's what those plants are looking like, and I'm excited. So there's 3 different varieties in here. One is green magic. One is the one I told you to say however you say it. And then the other one I'm pretty sure is green Goliath. And so that's looking really good. I have been looking in the middle. I'm not seeing where it looks like we're about to get ahead on these ones, but the ones in the other beds we are. But those are the ones that we planted first. those came second. And so once you walk in and you look to your left and to your right, then you see these beautiful purple bootstrap farmer bags. Somebody said, let me guess, purple is your favorite color. You are absolutely right. I love purple. And so these have broccoli in them. This is green Goliath on this side. Oh, these are all green Goliath. Pretty sure about that. These were planted first, which is why they're much bigger. These were planted second. Also, we do have potatoes just popping up. That's one right there. There's another one down there. So if you remember, I planted potatoes in these bags hoping to get a fall harvest, but I planted potatoes from the store and they had not chitted. And so that's when I decided I'm just going to go ahead and put my broccoli in. The potatoes are popping up now. I do not plan to harvest any potatoes out of these bags this year because I prefer to get the broccoli, and then we'll do potatoes in spring. But like I said, these are green Goliath broccoli over here. And if you look down in the middle, the leaves are starting to come to a head in the middle, and normally that's when you are going to start getting a broccoli head. So I'm excited about that, and the plants look amazing. We do have some damage, but like I said, I come through every morning and I pick them, and they are not they're not nearly as damaged as they would be if I wasn't picking. And I don't spray or use any pesticides. That is my own personal choice, not telling anybody else not to. I know I could use BT and a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm just choosing not to. I'm always in my garden, so it's not a big deal for me to come out here and just take a look and take a gander and get rid of the things that need to be gotten rid of. And so right beside those bags, or actually behind, the bags are in front of these beds. These are beds that have Kohlrabi in them. So like this is a Kohlrabi, and look at that. We're getting bulbs. The bulbs are starting to set on the Kohlrabi. I'm super excited. Now this honestly looks like a white Vienna. I don't know where I would have got it from, but I'm happy to see it. Anyway, because I didn't think they made it, but maybe some of them did, and it's a mix, but I'm excited about that. But most of them are definitely the purple. And if you look at here, you can see that one is starting to bulb too. So we should be getting Kohlrabi soon. I'm excited. Kohlrabi leaves are edible, and so I can also eat the leaves, and they are honestly not too damaged either. You know, you got some that are, but they're not damaged much, and so I'm excited about that. So these whole, I want to say 3 rows, actually it's 2 rows, and I have 2 Kohlrabi in each square foot. And then you have some nasturtiums. Nasturtiums can be planted for fall too. They like the cooler weather, and so that's one nasturtium there. And then there's also a nasturtium up here that I didn't show y'all. So I like nasturtiums. I like the flowers. I think they're beautiful, but these plants are also edible, the leaves and the flowers, and I actually think they taste pretty delicious as well. All right, so where I just showed you that nasturtium, we also have broccoli back here. Now these have quite a bit of pest pressure, but I still come and I kill everything, because just because the leaves don't look good on the plant, I say it all the time, doesn't mean the plant is not going to produce food, and these middle leaves look just fine. These are green magic broccoli back here. And so if you look in here, you can see the leaves are starting to curl. More than likely, we're gonna get a small broccoli head forming in the next week or 2. Pretty excited about that. This row right here just looks really bad. I don't know why, but it does. And then back here, we have our tree collards. This is a Mariette tree collard. These 2 are Mariette, just planted recently. But we have one over here, don't know which one it is, but this is from last year. I think it's last year or early spring, I don't know. Either way, they are perennial. They do not go to seed, so they just keep growing. Now this one, I have pulled the leaves all summer because they were getting eaten up by pests like harlequin bugs, and it's just a tall stalk, but it's just gonna keep growing out of the top. So I could be eating these now. I'm waiting for a frost for any of it because it makes it sweeter. That's what they say. I do think that I have noticed that too. So that is a tree collard. I wanna say either from fall or spring. I honestly cannot remember, y'all. All right, so now we're gonna make our way down the walkway, and that's our sprinkler. I am not hand watering over here anymore because fall plants do not mind having water on their leaves, and We love that for me. Now, I am going to have to move it to another spot because these plants are so big. When it comes this way, it gets stuck. And so these are being watered really well, but the rest of this side, I don't think it is. But we'll worry about that another day. So now in between my two block beds, I still have basil growing. But what I did was I came in and I also planted out broccoli in the same bag with the basil because that's what these bags were supposed to be for. But I want a lot of basil. I have harvested a lot too. And so I don't think that if they die now, I'm going to be hurting for basil. But I'm just leaving them until the first frost. They'll grow right up until the first frost. But we also already put our broccoli in here. And it seems to be working. Some of them have died, but a lot of them are still alive in the bag with the basil. And I fertilize them the same, especially in the beginning for the broccoli. I do fish emulsion. Basil is leaves. Fish emulsion is good for green growth. And so I just fertilize it all the same, and you can see we have good broccoli growing in here. The ones in the back, I think they get shaded a little more than the ones in the front, and that's fine. We're not tripping. We still have our trellis, and so this is another one of the Transplanted squash, and then we also still have the dipper gourds. Can somebody tell me, can I take these off and let them dry off the vine? Or are they better to dry on the vine? There's a whole bunch of them. That's what I can tell you. It's my first year growing those. I want to make bowls out of them. Somebody was saying you could do bowls. I want to say bird houses, all different things. I want to make bowls out of them. I think that would be so cool. But can I take them off now and let them dry? Or should I just leave them on the vine and let them dry? Y'all let me know. And so over here is our next block bed that pretty much is the same thing. It's kohlrabi and broccoli, but we have way more broccoli in this bed than we do in the other. And instead of tree collards in the back, we have Swiss chard. And I realized I didn't have colorful Swiss chard, y'all. So we just have the basic color Swiss chard, which is fine. Still gonna taste delicious. But the broccoli is looking really good back here. And we have less pest pressure over here. Also, y'all remember that small one we put in and I kept saying I might have to replace it? Caught up with everybody else. We love that. And like down here, you can see the leaves are starting to curl. And so what I am hoping for with the broccoli is that I can get the broccoli head before we start getting really hard freezes. I'll still leave these plants and then I would just let the side shoots keep growing. Side shoots are delicious. They kept us going all the way through the winter and up to spring. Well, I guess late winter until I pulled them out and started planting another round of them. So that's my hope, is I can get the broccoli head before we start getting hard freezes. And then, well, not hard freezes, like before January or February. And then I'll leave the plants and hopefully get side shoots. That's my plan here. So if y'all remember, I started my fall seedlings very early. I planted them out in late August and then in early September. That's when I started planting. And remember I said I wanted to start them early so that they could be large enough to fight off all of these pests, because I knew I wasn't covering. I never do, not with net, not with anything for frost. I just don't cover because of the infrastructure that I have. So I just wanted them to be strong enough to get through all of the things I knew nature was going to throw at them. So far, they've been doing really well. I'm very excited. Also, look at this kohlrabi. Look at that, y'all. We got kohlrabi bulbing over here too. So we'll be eating kohlrabi soon. Y'all know that's one of my favorites, my absolute favorites. So this is like a wide view of what we have already talked about up close. Looks really good. Also, when I was telling you potatoes are starting to come in, right there, that's another one, and it's in a bag with a broccoli. I'm probably gonna stake this broccoli. I think it gets shaded. Like when you seeing like really skinny, chances are it's not getting the sun that it needs. And that's okay. My area is a little bit shaded, and especially in the fall and winter because the sun is lower, and then I have trees. I don't have trees. Those are my neighbor's trees. There's nothing I can do about it though. So I do know that at some point we're gonna get a good amount of shade back here. But that's why I also wanted to get them out early enough where when the sun is still high, they still were able to grow. It has worked for me. So going right beside that bed I just showed you, same type thing where we put broccoli in the bag with basil. And I harvested the basil when I got back from vacation, so it's small now. But you see right here, this is broccoli in the bag with basil. And it's crazy because it's the same variety, but some of them just did better than others, which is okay by me. And you got one right here. You still got basil, and it's not going to seed yet, so I'm happy about that. This is another basil. Also, this poblano pepper, y'all, we harvested, but it's still growing. Still growing more peppers, and we still have some flowers in here. Now, what I will say is the peppers have slowed down now because it is getting, like I said, it's like 50-something degrees at night. I think this morning when I woke up to come out here and work, it was 54 degrees. So y'all know I was bundled up, but I was out here and still working. All right, little mosquito. Anyway, behind those beds, you still have tomatoes growing. And so these are tomatoes that I replanted in July for the most part. So you can see right here, we have some. This one, need to lift this up, but we have a bunch of tomatoes on there. Also, y'all, this Bread's Atomic is still going strong. Look at all of them tomatoes on there. And they have been in since spring. I just need to pick it up and sit it somewhere so it's not sitting on the soil. I always forget this basil that's back in this bag. So we just gonna leave it for the birds and the bees because it's already started flowering. There's one in this bag too with the tomato. But yeah, Bread's Atomic still going strong, y'all. But none of this is going to be here in a month or so because we're going to get a frost more than likely. And then you have more down here. These are Homestead tomatoes down here. Also planted in July. But we have quite a bit of tomatoes on it. And we might have to take these in green, which is also fine. It is what it is. They're doing really good too. So see, we got some more tomatoes on there. And what I will say is I'm absolutely planting more tomatoes in July. And I'm probably not going to use suckers. I know that I can. I just like the fact of a new plant. It is extra work and I could use the suckers, but I'm going to leave it and do it as a new plant. And y'all know I like starting seeds. I don't like potting them up, but I like to start them. Behind those tomatoes is the flower bed. And if you remember, we moved some hollyhocks and we moved some dahlias. And I was not sure how it was going to go. I am pretty sure at this point that all of this will come back next year and I will not have to plant them. The dahlias will come back every year as long as I mulch them well, and then hollyhocks are biennial. So they'll come back next year, but then they'll die. But I'll just start some more and then replace them, which is fine. The echinacea right here, it is perennial, comes back every year anyway. So I just cut that down when it becomes too much for me. The canna lily is back, y'all. The canna lily is back, which, you know, it is what it is. It's fine. My sunflowers are trying to give me sunflowers. They are dwarf, but not this dwarf. They're supposed to be bigger than that. But you can see it's going to be some tiny little sunflower in there. I'm not going to worry about that. This is where my snapdragons are going to go. And I do plan to start some more snapdragons because there's a few left, but yeah, not enough. Because now we have the dahlias and the hollyhocks down there. And so I don't want to plant the snapdragons down there because in the spring, snapdragons are still going to be alive. And I don't want them to be mixed in like that. So we're just going to put snapdragons down this end. And so over there is the basil and the peppers that I told you about. So we also have cabbage. And I'm actually feeling pretty positive about my cabbage this year, y'all. Like, see? You can see it's already starting to head. I came through here and I had to get some pests out of there. But they're looking better than they have ever looked. There is irrigation in this bed. That's why I put the cabbage over here. Cabbage likes a good amount of water and a good amount of nitrogen. So I've been making sure that I water them, turn the irrigation on, and then making sure that I fertilize them well. So I'm actually feeling really good about this. If y'all remember, I put them over here because of the irrigation. And I was like, maybe this will be better for me. I'll learn how to grow cabbage this year. Now, the pests have been eating them this year. I'm not gonna lie about that, but I also feel better that I'm actually learning what I'm supposed to be doing with them as well. So my mother decided she was not going to do a fall garden. She's like me, she does not like the cold. And so I took that Swiss chard that I had started for her. Remember we had calendula down here? I just went ahead and started, planted that Swiss chard that I had already started for her. So this should be Swiss chard growing right here. Alrighty, so now we are here to our roselle. And you can see we're getting calyxes, so we should start to see flowers soon. I am hopeful that in the next month we can get this going and I can get some roselle. But, or sorrel, it's called both. So yeah, you can see it's just a bunch of them. I'm excited about that. It's early October, and that's when I'm starting to see my calyxes. Also on the other side, you have zinnias. They look really bad, y'all. But at this point, I'm just leaving them so that I can get the seeds. But like, they ain't pretty no more, like I've been saying. And they still look good. They still look a mess now. They look a mess. Leaving them so I can get seed. Also push them back today so that these peppers right here can get some sun because they have flowers on them and they are still producing. Pretty sure this is a poblano. So they are still producing and I'm excited about that. There's also a cayenne back here too. And then there's also a broccoli down here that I completely forgot about, but it was being shaded by the zinnias. So that's why I pushed those back today. Right beside those bags, you have some cabbage collards. They're looking really good. Also think I might have mixed something up because these don't look the same as those. And so I don't know what I did, y'all. It's okay, but they definitely don't look the same. This one is being heavily shaded, which is why it's so skinny, and that's okay. And then on the back end of this bed, you have some Georgia Southern. If y'all remember when we put them in, they looked absolutely awful. They are growing, and I'm honestly right now not having any pest pressure like talking about back here either. So we just letting them Georgia collards do their thing. We'll see what happens. Oh, also the elderberry that's in here, I pushed this back too. I'm gonna figure this out because I'm not sure it's gonna stay in this bed. I'm just not. We also have 3 bags back here. I didn't even plant those out because I just knew they were gonna be shaded constantly, especially in the fall. So I didn't plant those out at all. I don't even think I amended them. I still need to amend them as well. And by the way, the beans on this trellis are producing beans. So these are purple potted. I tell y'all about them. I basically planted these out. They were shaded and so they weren't growing. And then they just started to grow again once I got the things out that was shading them. And so hopefully we can get more than the 2 that I just pulled off of there. And there's one right there, but it's still growing. So I'm excited about that. Right across from the cabbage collards, you have the lettuce that we planted out. It's not looking amazing. It honestly looks like it's about to bolt. So this is why we're gonna start some more lettuce. Yeah, it looks like it's about to bolt. There's pest on it, and that's okay. We'll just replant it. Now, what I will say is I normally don't have a lot of success in this spot. And so the lettuce is looking like it's a good spot for it. The lettuce just wasn't taken care of well, and so it was already close to bolting when I put it in here. Just being honest with y'all. So this is the middle garden bed. This is collards. So these are Alabama blue collards right here. Up here is top bunch 2.0. So we have 4 top bunch 2.0. The rest is Alabama blue. By the way, remember I told y'all something was volunteer? I thought it was marigolds. Nope, it's tomatoes. But they're gonna die. I'm not gonna worry about it. Also, you can see the peas kind of hanging out. I needed to have planted the peas before I planted the collards. They are getting shaded, and so they're not even making their way up the trellis. I may take some time to try to put them on the trellis so they can get the sun and just start going up the trellis. I might not, who knows? But the collards are looking good. We do have some weeds in here that's coming from the straw, but it's not a lot because the collards are pretty much a canopy over top of the soil. So I'm excited to see that. Right beside this yellow green stalk, we have peppers, cayenne, pimento, shishito. That's what's over here. Some of it needs to be harvested. Like you can see this red one here. But this pimento that was in a garden bed for the whole summer that did nothing is looking really good in this bag. And there's a really big one back here. Let me see if I can find it. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. I need to put a stake in this, but I just really have been focusing on other things. But yeah, that's a pimento. And then you have a shishito down here right there. You have another cayenne. And so these are looking really good. All of these were transplanted into these bags when I was about to start planting for fall. They all did really well, bounced back, and they are producing nicely for us. So I love that. So right beside those peppers, you have some more peppers. If you remember, these plants did not do well. They had gotten demolished, if you want to say it, by aphids and ants. This one has some type of disease. I'm sure that's what it is. But the new leaves are growing nicely. And we have peppers. This is a jalapeno. So the peppers are still doing well. Like this one was all yellow. You come down here, you got all green. And this is a shishito pepper. So I am okay with this. I'm not doing a lot to the peppers anymore. Aside from harvesting them, they are growing well. And so that's just what we're going to do. At this point, they'll be gone in a month. And then these bags I will amend and put to bed. And we will use them in spring when we need to plant again. Right beside those peppers, the garlic that I planted in September has come up. If you're new here, I'm just trying to see the best time for me. This is also a shaded space. So this right here is garlic that I got from a farmer's market. So it's local. I will be putting the botanical interest garlic in here in November. And I need to tell y'all that the botanical interest garlic is in and it is starting to ship. So if you are interested in getting some garlic from botanical interest, you can use the link down in my description as well. Y'all, the bug's still out here. That's something sitting on that pepper. You can use my link down in the description as well. You can get, I want to say 5% off if you are looking for garlic still. It's in and it's starting to ship. And so I've been talking for over an hour and now my voice, and I left my water in the house. That's ridiculous. Anyway, so if you hear it, me starting to struggle, I've been talking for an hour, but we almost done. All right, so now you have Brussels sprouts, maybe something else, because I don't know what some of these plants are. They were labeled Brussels sprouts, but they just don't look like Brussels sprouts. And so I keep just kind of looking down here to see. I don't see, but this kind of looks like it's a Brussels sprout for me. Anyway, these are supposed to be, this one here and these here are supposed to be Long Island Brussels sprouts. So we're just waiting to see. Now, the snails have been killing this bed. It has not been the caterpillars, it has been the snails. And you can see, they've really been eating them up. So I just been coming and making sure I pull them out, but I can't be out here 24/7. And then these are Groninger Brussels sprouts also being killed by the snails. It is okay. And then over here you have some more peppers. These are the peppers from the summer. You still have flowers forming on them, so that's cool. You still have peppers growing on them, so that's even better. And right here, that's a jalapeno. So the peppers are still growing. I'm just not focusing on them. So these bags will be cleared at the first frost, and they'll go to sleep for the winter. Over here, you have, this is plantain. It should come back next year. It's already died back. We have mullein in here. If you remember, we just planted out the purple sprout and broccoli. And then we have St. John's wort, which I was saying I wanted to move it, but I was like, why would you move it if it's doing so well? So probably gonna leave it. Y'all, this is that same beet that absolutely needs to be pulled out. It absolutely needs to be pulled out. And then our overwinter peppers from last year that actually have peppers on them. This is a jalapeno. Can you see it? Girl, no. And then this is one too that I need to pull out. And then the last bed is our carrot bed. And if you remember, we planted these carrots really early, but they look really good. I never got around to trying to reseed over here. Probably not gonna do it at this point. We just gonna let it do what it does. But they look really good. And I did not come through and thin. I like smaller carrots, so I just left it the way it is. I also haven't done too much digging to see what's going on. But yeah, that's the carrot bed. And that is the garden. 3rd week after it's been planted out, I do believe. No, that can't be right. I said late August. 3rd week since I started doing fall garden tours, I think is what it is. But it looks so good out here, y'all. I'm so happy. My kids were out here with me earlier. My son was getting the chicken feed for me. My daughter was getting the dog poop up. And I was like, doesn't it look so nice out here? They was like, girl, get out of my face. Anyway, they didn't say that. They know this makes me happy. They didn't say that. They didn't say it, but their faces did. Anyway, that's the garden tour for today. And I hope that y'all enjoyed it. And if you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to visit me over on Instagram, where I post about the things going on in my garden almost every day. How is your garden doing, by the way? Bye, y'all.